Ashikuzzaman. Currently, I serve as an engineering leader at a health tech startup located in the San Francisco Bay Area. With 23 years in the software engineering domain, I have experienced various roles, from individual contributor roles like software engineer to tech lead to engineering manager, and eventually to manager roles. As I have enriched my knowledge through books and personal experiences, I felt a strong urge to share my insights with fellow leaders and enthusiasts and learn from them as well. This channel is my humble endeavor to achieve that. Today, we inaugurate our series on leadership and management. I'm thrilled to embark on this explorative journey with all of you. I'll be glad if it helps you, and I invite you to ask questions in this channel comments, propose new topics for discussions, or recommend useful contents. As we unveil the Leaders Whiteboard series, it seems apt to address a fundamental question first. What defines leadership? Let's dive deep into this discussion now. What is leadership? Leadership is the act of guiding, influencing, and inspiring individuals or groups to achieve goals. It's about motivating people to do their best, fostering a shared vision, and cultivating an environment where people feel valued and heard. So what you see is that leadership is actually influencing others, maybe a team, an organization, a group of people, to take them from a point A to point B. Those who can do that, they are leaders. So let's look at some of the examples of leaders then. So what you are seeing here is a few examples I brought just to give an idea of who we consider leaders. So let's start with Mahatma Gandhi. He was a leader because he pioneered the philosophy of nonviolent resistance, satyagraha, and he had to inspire a large group of people to be considered as a great leader. The second image we are seeing is Abraham Lincoln. He is a leader because he had a clear vision for the United States during the challenging period of civil war, a united country free from the bonds of slavery. That was his vision. That's why he's a leader. So what it tells us is that leaders have to be visionary. The third picture you are seeing is the ex-CEO of Meta, Facebook, Sherylsandberg. She is an American technology executive, philanthropist, and writer. And she is a leader because she advocated strongly for gender equality in workplace. The next image we are seeing is of Martin Luther King Jr. So definitely he's a very strong leader because he played a pivotal role in the civil rights movement and his unwavering advocacy for equality and justice. Mother Teresa is a leader. Why? She is a leader because she is known for her profound humanitarian efforts and spiritual leadership. And the final image is from Christopher Columbus. He is a leader because he's credited with opening the way for widespread European naval exploration and the eventual conquest of the Americas. So these are just some examples, but leaders come from all walks of life. You'll see left and right everywhere leaders coming from. And we all are leaders because we at least lead one person, which is ourselves. Yeah. Right. So when we see a leader, we only see their current state or end result or what they are doing. But a leader actually has to go through a lot of transformation before we see them successful at their position. So for that, I like the analogy of the iceberg analogy for leadership. So what happens in an iceberg is that we only see the top or tip of the iceberg, we call it often like top that's floating above the sea or water level, right? But the major part of an iceberg is actually below the water that we don't see. So same is about leadership. We see a leader and their action only, but to get to that action, we don't see so many other things they had to go through, conquer or master before they became successful leaders. For example, what we see above the waterline are actions and behaviors or skills. Actions and behaviors are like, these are like tangible and observable actions leaders take every day. These include giving a presentation, leading a team meeting, or making a decision. Or some skills we can say is like, this can be sometimes to be seen in action, like problem solving, communication, strategic planning, and so on. So when we see those, we know, okay, this is a leader, he's leading this area of the organization or this team. But what we don't see, what's below the waterline in this iceberg analogy, are like attitudes and beliefs, values, feelings and emotions, thought processes, motivations, experiences that they come through, like humility, integrity, relationships, innovation, engage, vision. These are some of the things that they go through before they build the character, and then eventually we see what they see every day. So this is something, if you want to be a leader, we have to build those what's below the waterline of that iceberg first, before you can get to the successful end result, which is what we see above the water level in the iceberg. So that's a good analogy for leadership. Now, that is leadership, but can anyone be a leader? Do you have to be a manager to be a leader? So not really. You don't have to be a manager to be a leader, but anyone can be a leader. You have to learn, you have to grow certain skills. A leader can be an individual contributor. A leader can be a manager also, either way. For example, in our software engineering industry, you see a lot of architects or designer or team leads. They are technical leaders, versus you see, let's say, managers, directors, VPs. They are leaders who are managers also. So leaders can be both coming from individual contributor or from manager. So then what is management? Let's try to find out how is it different from leadership. So there are overlapping responsibilities, but we want to be clear where they are different. So management is the act of coordinating, directing, and controlling resources, like people, finances, materials, to achieve specific objectives within an organization. It's about ensuring processes are efficient, resources are used effectively, and organizational goals are met. That's their job, the manager. So let's take a look at what a manager focuses on and what a leader focuses on. A manager, by the very nature that it's a job, it's a title, it's a post, they give directions, versus a leader actually asks questions. They try to influence people so that they find the right direction, versus a manager actually gives direction. A manager has subordinates while a leader has followers. If you don't have a follower, you're not a leader. And managers, because they are people managers, they will have people reporting to them, so they have subordinates in that sense. A manager holds authority because it's a title, it's a post. But a leadership is not a post. So a leader is motivational. They assume the responsibility to direct a team or certain people or an organization in a certain direction. So they are more motivational. They have to influence, inspire people, versus a manager holds authority and they direct based on their authority. A manager tells you what to do. A leader shows you how to do. A manager has good ideas, but a leader goes through actions to show those good ideas, how to execute. A manager reacts to changes, but a leader creates change. Why? Because manager's job is to keep the status quo, to keep things predictable, under control, while a leader actually looks for multiplier effect, doing something bigger than what they can do with the status quo right now. So they create changes, they look for changes, ways to improve things better, even if the existing things that are working is more or less okay. They try to find even better ways to do it. That's why they create changes while managers react to changes. Manager tries to be hero. When a team is in trouble, a manager tries to rescue them, versus a leader makes heroes. They instill confidence in people, they delegate, they tell you can do it. So the people, the team members that follow the leader, they become heroes. Instead of like a manager who is a hero and tries to rescue the people, the team. A manager exercises power while a leader develops power in others, and so on. So these are some of the areas, but there are a lot of overlapping areas where a manager and the leader has to do the same thing. End of the day, they all work for the end business goal, like to make the organization move forward. But it's good to know these differences. The management consultant, Peter Drucker, the management guru, Peter Drucker had a very good, nice quote that I thought we all should remember. He once said is that managers are people who do the things right, and leaders are people who do the right things. That's a very good one, like a little bit playing with the words, but you know what it means. The leader is more inspirational. They have to multiply. They have to make people dream, run towards a dream, a futuristic state, a long-term vision, versus a manager has a focus short-term, go according to the plan or with some changes how they can achieve the short-term goal. So neither of these are bad. An organization needs both managers and leaders. So in fact, with the proliferation of so many leadership books or management books, one thing I have observed is that the emphasis is so much on leadership that we don't develop good managers. Managers are also important part of the team or the organization, and you have to have good management for your projects or your companies to stay on track, to deliver results, while you also need leaders who can take those companies from one position to a very inspirational, futuristic position, but you need both leaders and managers. So now, dear my audience, if you are an individual contributor, you can still think you want to be a leader, and for that you don't have to be a manager, not necessarily, but you can be a manager and leader too. So think of yourself, and if you are a manager, definitely you assume leadership role or leadership hat at many times during your day-to-day work. You have to do it, but not necessarily you have to be a leader. You can actually do your management job very well and get it done. But for individual contributors, being a leader is an option. That's what we should more remember, is that it's not necessarily to be a leader, you have to go through the management role. Yeah. So I'd like to keep these videos short so that we can have focused discussion on certain topics, and then we move to the next topic in the next session. So today's session 1 was something I wanted to clarify on the definition of leadership and management. So please add your comments in this channel. Click like and subscribe, so that when I upload the next session, you are notified, and then you can listen to the next one. So again, please come back to this YouTube channel, Leaders Whiteboard. I'm looking forward to having more interesting topics to discuss about in the upcoming sessions. Thank you, everyone.